Okay, so I have my ire up, so I feel like this is a topic that I need to talk about. Um, our culture has this pesky way of looking at just the woman when it comes to fertility related challenges. So when couples are trying to conceive, they try for 6 months, or that's like the standard is you try for 6 months, you don't have any success, you go to the doctor. You say to the doctor, hey, we've been having unprotected sex for 6 months, still no success getting pregnant. The doctor starts to run some tests. Generally, most people don't qualify for infertility support until they have been trying for over a year. But there's so many things that influence that equation. Has she been on birth control for a period of time? Our culture tends to put people on birth control to regulate a whole host of period-related symptoms. So has she been on birth control? How long has she been off of birth control? How many years did she take it prior to trying to get pregnant? But that's not the only part of it. So coming up, there's going to be a couple of blogs that are coming out specifically about male infertility and female infertility because it is on the rise. In our Western culture, it's starting to rise to epidemic proportions, actually. Male and female infertility. It's sad. There's a whole host of reasons, and I won't bore you with them now, as to why couples are seeing more and more challenges in terms of their reproductive health. But one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy is the fact that generally we only look at the woman. Now, granted, there are a whole bunch of ways that things can go off the rails in the female body. Lots of menstrual issues, hormone imbalances, all of that stuff. But it isn't just a female problem. There is a male component in this equation. And if you're not looking at the man, you're not looking at the full picture. So in our culture, a lot of men have to go through their spouses to have semen analysis ordered. I have had conversations with clients where they have talked about the fact that, their husbands have talked to their general practitioner, and sure, some general practitioners will order those tests, but not all do. A lot of them will direct the male partner to talk to their female partner's OBGYN or reproductive specialist, which is kind of weird if you think about it. So we drive all of our fertility, everything, through the female. So when couples are struggling to get pregnant, there's a lot of shaming, generally to the female in the couple, that she is the reason to not get pregnant. And that's just simply not true. One of the pieces of information that's actually coming out in an upcoming blog, so keep checking my my website for my upcoming blogs, but I tackled male infertility and looking at the increasing number of men who are falling into this category. In the 1970s, it was very common for semen analysis counts to be over or in excess of 99 million sperm per milliliter. And now we're barely seeing men, a lot of men, a vast majority of men hitting the fertile mark at 20 or even 40. So a huge decrease. And there's a lot of reasons that factor into that. See, I'm so wound up about this topic. I'm literally tumbling over my own tongue. But the reason why it makes me so crazy is it takes two to tango. I'm sorry, women don't climb on top of themselves and get pregnant. It's not the way that it works. So both pieces of this puzzle really need to be looked at. There are lifestyle considerations, there are diet considerations, things that are happening in our culture now that weren't happening like even 30 years ago, farming practices, chemicals that we're using in common products. There's a whole bunch of reasons why fertility is changing for both men and women. So I wanted to get on and address this because I've had several conversations with clients recently about this topic. And, surprise from female partners when male partners request to have tests done, and they're directed to the female's gynecologist or reproductive specialist in order to have those tests done. So the woman has to request it. And that in itself can feel very weird, for a guy not being able to request his own tests. It's emasculating in some ways, not to mention the immense pressure that it puts on the female in the relationship. The woman has to coordinate the tests. The woman is the one that goes through the battery of tests first before they even talk to the man. And that creates stress, not only in the relationship, but really in the relationship between the woman and her own body, not just between the two partners that are trying to get pregnant. So I wanted to raise this because we often look to the woman as the reason for fertility challenges arising and occurring, and it's simply not true. And there's a lot of data and some alarming data that's coming out to support all of that. So I wanted to direct you to a resource that I've recently released called Empowered Fertility. That course is designed for both in the couple, to explore potential pitfalls and challenges as they're trying to get pregnant, in preparation to try to get pregnant. So, maybe you're having a conversation with your partner right now about, hey, what do you think about, starting to try to have a baby? That is a great time to take that course. Even if you're already in it and you've been trying for a little while and you haven't had any success, it's still a great time to take that course, because one of the things that breaks my heart is I have people who come into my practice on a regular basis and they've been trying for years, only to find out after we have been talking for a period of time that, yes, do they have things they need to work on for their menstrual health? Sure. But they haven't even tested their male partner. And then when we get those test results, all of a sudden we see that it's not just one side of the equation that's a challenge. And there are things that can be done to support male fertility. There's a lot of things that can be done, actually, at least from an Eastern standpoint. So this course is designed to empower you both with information about your bodies, about how you can support your bodies, how to work against this increasing number of people who are having difficulty conceiving, and male semen analyses that are not performing as strongly as they historically have in generations prior, because just like a period is a vital sign for a woman and really gives you an organic computer printout about how you've lived your life for the last month, what your internal climate and health look like. But that's exactly what a semen analysis is for a man. And it takes 3 months for sperm to fully develop. So what you see in a semen analysis is actually a picture of what their health and life looked like over the previous 3 months, and you're just capturing it at that moment. So, there are ways to influence, and actually it's not like an on the spot, yes, we're going to try to get pregnant today kind of, about face. If you're looking at the health of the man in this equation, We're looking at a 3-month rolling window in terms of, have they been sleeping well? Have they quit smoking? Are they moving their body enough? Do they keep their cell phone in the front pocket? That's a big one, guys. All of those things factor into motility, morphology, and count. And we're seeing variance in all three of those numbers with men today. And like I said, there's a whole host of reasons for it. And that's exactly why I created Empowered Fertility. I've seen far too many couples who have struggled for too long trying to get pregnant, when just a couple of changes for both parties in the couple make a significant difference in terms of increasing your chances to get pregnant. So check out Empowered Fertility. It is located in my digital course catalog called The Tao of Women. You can find it in my Instagram bio. You can find it in, pretty much any of my channels. So if you're following me at Moon Essence Me, you can find this information. But I really encourage you to check it out. If you are not the one that is trying to get pregnant, but you know someone who does, please share this with them, because years of struggling to try to get pregnant, it takes a toll on a couple. It takes a toll on both parties' self-esteem, their self-image, all of these things. And that struggle doesn't need to be there. There are a lot of things that can be done proactively to help both members of that couple to optimize their health and fertility, to be able to conceive a healthy baby, because that's what you both want, right? So thank you so much for tuning in for a few minutes, and hearing what I have to say about fertility. It's a topic I'm really passionate about. I work with couples that have autoimmune conditions, and yes, endometriosis is an autoimmune, or at least that's the way that the Eastern medicine community looks at it. I've had really great success working with couples and helping them get pregnant with endometriosis and other fertility related challenges. So I'm hoping that this gift of Empowered Fertility is going to be helpful to you, but I'm also available for a one-on-one consultation as well if you've been trying for a while. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. And I hope that this video and Empowered Fertility can help you or someone you know to have a healthy baby.